This is your host, Tom, for the Hidden Truths channel. And tonight's live stream, we're going to discuss what would it be like if Karmalo Anthony would have just went to school that day where he was supposed to be. Just think how things would be different, how his life would be different. That's what we're going to discuss first. And then we're going to discuss judges gone wild with them. Well, now it's just dealing with the illegal immigrants, one in New Mexico, or was it Arizona? I can't remember. And then the latest one in Wisconsin that are harboring illegal aliens. Okay, this is crazy. But anyway, yeah, judges gone wild. We're not even going to get into the judges. Well, we will get into the judges that are trying to stop President Trump from doing his duty as president and protecting the American citizen. It's just crazy. I mean, a judge is not allowed to take away the president's constitutional power. It's just not. And all it takes is one judge. You know, it doesn't even matter how puny they are anymore. So, yeah, we're going to discuss that too. But, boy, I want to do a live stream outside today, but we got some south winds that are crazy. Got a little bit more moisture, but we need a lot more. But, hopefully one of these nights before I head up back into the sand hills to do cowboying, I can actually do a live stream in my grove by a fire. That would be nice since we did get a little bit moisture. Now I just need the wind to die down. Even a 20-mile-an-hour wind would be nice right now. That's one thing out here in the Panhandle, Nebraska. That wind sure blows. You get all the wind off the Rocky Mountains and just keep blowing. I don't know where it wears out. Maybe somewhere by Omaha or something, huh? Anyway, it's crazy. It's a windy day. Anyway, let's get started on the subject. Okay, since I'm 2 minutes in. And, one thing I wanted to say is I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe to this channel. Press the like button and subscribe if you like the content. I'd appreciate that. Hey, Sharon, hello, how's it going? We're going to get the subject right now. If Karmalo would have went to school that day like he was supposed to. I'm sure he's thought about this, gone through this with in his head so many times. If I would have just went to school. Hello, Sharon. I would have just been better, right? Thank you for subscribing, Aaron Rodriguez. But if he would have just went to school. I mean, these are the questions, let's say the hidden truths of this case. Okay, why was he skipping school? Hey, how is everybody doing? I'm glad everybody's here. Why wasn't he in school that day? Why was he at a different school at a track meet, which he wasn't even supposed to be at, under a visitor's tent? Well, he was a visitor anyway, wearing another school's colors. Okay, somebody is skipping school. Yeah, okay, that's the first thing he was doing wrong. And then he goes to another school carrying a knife to a track meet. And then you go under this tent wearing your school's colors, not that school. I mean, if you're in a gang-related thing, wouldn't you sit there and say you might be in danger if you went into another gang's territory wearing a different gang's colors? But I'm not going to take it down to gang. But anyway, we all know what school is like. Where, you know, that's the first thing that you can say a kid, the first banner they follow is their school. So we got this guy coming who's supposed to be at another school in class, comes to a different school to a track meet, carrying a knife, and is just, I say, looking for trouble. And then they want to sit there, well, the school should have closed the track meet because it was raining and stuff. No, Karmalo wasn't even supposed to be there, okay? And this is the thing. You know, if you get an accident in your vehicle and you don't have insurance or your license is revoked or whatever, it don't matter if that other person's at fault. You're at fault because you weren't supposed to be on the road. That's how that works. Okay, but this kid comes. Why wasn't he in school? The parents want to say they're victims. Their whole family's a victim. Why was he in school? Why did he have to take a knife to school? He got suspended, in February from his school, Centennial High School there in, can't remember the name of the town anymore. Left me all of a sudden. But what was he doing at another school? How did he even get in there? Now, I don't know if that school was at that track meet. That's why he didn't get called for wearing those school colors. I don't know. But the thing is, he was looking for trouble. Flat out. Touch me and find out. With your hand in your bag. See, I don't care what anybody says, it's first-degree murder. It's premeditated. And because he knew what he was going to do with that knife if Austin Metcalf touched him. And they want to claim self-defense. Whatever. But just imagine if he went to school that day instead of all this craziness. And now, because he made, Karmalo Anthony made a really bad decision. Starting out with his day was skipping school and then going to another school's track meet with a knife and then confronting and basically egging on another 17-year-old. Okay, I don't remember nothing saying about it was racist. He was just, he had a lot. Kids don't look at it like that. At least I don't think so. I mean, we're talking a kid who had lots of black friends. He was just telling another kid. He wasn't looking at a black kid. He was looking at another kid to tell him, get the hell out of our tent. Or I'm going to do something about it. Oh, you mean two 17-year-old studs aren't going to fight it out? Especially when you're provoking the other side? I mean, that's why they have visitors in home sides. So there's not brawls. I mean, the visitors, even in this small town, small area, when there's a game, the visitors sit in the visitor section. And home side sits on the home side. But anyway, just crazy. Like I said, answer the questions. Why wasn't he in school? Why did he decide to go into a track meet with a knife at another school and just basically try to start something? Okay? I don't understand it. Austin Metcalf was just standing up for the banner he follows, his school. Remember when you were in high school, what banner did you follow? Your high school, I even remember where I grew up. The towns would have competition, You don't come to my town because you're from that town. And we had it back then. You could go to another town on a Friday night, wear your Letterman's jacket, and you could get your ass kicked or get in a fight. And that's what happened, except we didn't pull knives on each other. This kid pulled a knife. He killed somebody else. Like I say, where are the hidden truths? Why would he skip school? Why was he at this track meet? Why did he decide to go under that tent when he didn't belong there? Just a few questions. But all I know is if this country blows up because Karmalo Anthony made a wrong decision from the time he got up that morning, well, that kind of sucks for the rest of us, though, doesn't it? Anyway, there was no race ever mentioned in this confrontation, okay? Karmalo Anthony was talking to the cops saying, oh, he was throwing racist slurs at me and touching me. No, he wasn't saying, he touched him. Not saying nothing about race or racial slurs or nothing like that. But boy, that's the only defense they got. A kid did something really bad to another kid. And the kid who did the really bad thing instigated it. Every action he did instigated more violence towards him. Okay? Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I wish he would have went to school that day. Things would be so much better in this. Well, there'd be one less thing we got to worry about in this country. A race war. Remember Charles Manson wanted a race war? Anyway, now let's get on to the subject of judges gone wild and the Trump administration toting their trophy judges out in front of the media like they're doing something, okay? And I'm not saying there ain't judges out there that need to be arrested, especially if you're harboring a criminal. You're hiding a criminal, that's against the law. It don't matter who you are. Remember, Democrats, nobody's above the law, even if you're president. What if you're a judge? And then the one I heard in Wisconsin, he was in the courtroom for a hearing. They came to arrest him. She told them FBI to leave, and then she tries to hide this guy. I mean, are you kidding me? Anyway, it's just one of the judges gone wild. But you know what? You want to investigate them? How about we investigate Chief Justice John Roberts? Remember, judges are only, according to the Constitution, allowed to serve during times of good behavior. Now, I don't know exactly if that means they're good behavior and then they turn into an idiot, and when they start being good again, they're allowed to be a judge again. By the way, we got quite a few of them that aren't acting in very good behavior. You know, they're using judicial lawfare against even the President of the United States. And they're getting away with it. And everybody, well, you got to listen to the courts, they're all smart. No, they're as biased on their political principles as anybody else. Nobody follows the Constitution no more. That's just an old piece of paper, right? You know, that old piece of paper that just made the greatest country that the world had ever known, and the mightiest. So, anyway, I just want some arrest, Pam Bondi, and not these. See, aren't you low-level Democrat radicals realizing that you're going to be the ones paraded into the cameras, not the ones that are really evil, not your handlers and stuff? They're not going to be, well, obviously arrested. Oh, wait, it's coming. Bullshit. I got a question. How long did it take for the Biden administration to start arresting lots of January 6th protesters? A couple days. Definitely 100 days, they had a lot of them, okay? But Trump can't seem to figure out how, and that was on trumped-up charges. Trespassing, 2 years of solitary confinement, dog and pony show for a court, whatever. Okay? But you can't, Trump, you can't round up real criminals. You know, like I say, the Epstein files will never be released because it would create, I mean, you realize how many elites in all countries are going to go down? Every country in the world, monarchies, it doesn't matter. Ours, past presidents. And like I say, I don't think they're releasing the list because they're protecting a lot of people on their side on the list. These people are corrupt and sick. But we ain't going to see the walk of shame by these people. Yeah, promise it, Trump. What do we get? A few MS-13 gang members that they can parade in front of the cameras. And now we got a few judges that can parade in front of the cameras. In a way, I feel bad for these people because they're trying to parade them around, trying to appease what you would call as conservatives that want justice and realize that this is the law of lands. And they're trying to use this as a paper tiger to sit there and calm us down. No, we're not going to be calmed down till Hillary's gone. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that one who started the Epstein complaints and stuff, you know, that 41-year-old woman that's now dead, killed herself in Australia at her farm. Yep. Who believes that? I don't believe that. You know, but whatever. And then their family saying it was suicide. Yeah, because they got their family scared to death. They just want the thing to go away. I can't even imagine what it's like to be an Epstein or a person that's involved in that, a victim that's involved in that, knowing that nobody's going to come to your rescue because all you got is rich and powerful elite men and women that are doing that to you, that we can't touch, and they can sit there and hide the truth and stuff, and that's all they're doing. But we're going to get on these judges for harboring illegals. Good. But you know what? Like I made a video, I had a conversation with the sheriff, DHS, and the military. And right now, my sheriff, when he stops carloads of them on the interstate, has to let them go. Now, is he supposed to be calling the DOD for the military police to come pick him up? So don't tell me you guys are doing anything about immigration. It's all a dog and pony show. That's all you're doing. Lying to us. And they're still flooding in. They're flooding in faster than you're kicking them out. We all know that. You know, the official numbers. Yeah, the official numbers. You know, these people are just getting smarter about how to cross. Anyway. But when are you going to get on stick, Pam Bondi? When are we going to have Hillary and Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, Barack Obama? And then there's, you know, well, John McCain, he's dead. That's a Republican. George Bush. Should he be charged with war crimes, being that we started a war on false pretenses? Weapons of mass destruction, we didn't find any. But he should be charged, okay? This, Dick Cheney. His daughter, Liz Cheney, okay? You name them. We got 2 justices on the Supreme Court that got their head in their head out of their ass. Clarence Thomas and it's Alito. Those are the only ones that know how to interpret the Constitution no more. You know, say, well, you're biased. How can you have a bias as a judge? You're supposed to be non-biased. You're not allowed to let your opinions and your thoughts interfere with the facts of the case, especially your political beliefs. But that's what they do all the time. Anyway. It's going to be a nuts world, but I don't see going to see the walk of shame by these people anytime soon. Right, Pam Bondi? Right, Kash Patel? You know, like I say, they can hunt down Americans, no problem. Find them any day of the week. Any day of the week. But they can't, even though they got all this evidence on these criminals are doing extremely bad things. Nothing happens to them. Anyway, what's my incentive for obeying the law? You know, I'm to the point where I follow the 10 Commandments now. If you follow the 10 Commandments, you can't break any laws. I love it a little bit of how when a politician gets himself in trouble, right? They'll say, well, I didn't break the law. Yeah, but did you do anything wrong, right or wrong, to your fellow man? You know, sometimes they hide behind the law. Anyway, they hide behind a lot of things. Probably the secretary's skirt, the wife's skirt, but whatever. So, yeah, Pam Bondi, how about getting on stick? How about we see some big wigs? Big wigs. I mean, the only way we're going to solve the problems in this country if we go to a land of laws. And the people that broke laws, especially when we all know them, need to be prosecuted. Who's ever on that Epstein list? Or P. Diddy list, or whatever, you know, they got lists for us. Oh, you're a right winger. You're on this list. So you can be watched. We got to watch you and stuff. You know, the other side has lots of lists. But, you know, the only way we're going to solve this problem is for these ones that are guilty to be charged, okay? If we had a Nuremberg trials at the end of World War I, Germany would be a lot different now. Okay? And the trial they had in Japan, which I do believe the emperor should have died, but, you know, we had to make sure that we kept the Japanese people happy. But anyway, we don't get these people held accountable for what they've done. I mean, how can you imagine being so elite and powerful and you couldn't be arrested for no matter what crime you did because the world would just fall apart? No, I don't know a person like that either. The whole group of them needs to be arrested from all over the world. People are sick. But Pam Bondi, we got a few judges to parade in front of you. Hey, we got MS-13 gang members, what you're trying to get back to this country. It's crazy. I mean, our politicians going down to El Salvador and they think they're going to tell the El Salvadorian president what to do. Okay, nobody listens to them here. Why the hell are they going to, except when they're spouting hate, people want to sit there and thrive on that hate. But nobody cares what they have to say here. It's just, when you know a politician's lying, when they're moving their mouth. It's easy as can be. When they're talking, that's when they're lying. Anyway, good luck on trying to get these gang members back. This Maryland father. He's a an El Salvadorian citizen, not a Maryland state citizen. Anyway, but we're not getting rid of him fast enough. It's just the dog and pony show from the Trump administration. And I'll call it out just like it is. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, hit the like and subscribe if you like content. Trying to get the channel to grow. Share the videos. Whatever you can do to help the channel out, I appreciate it. And go over my shorts. They're pretty good because they've been really ruffling the feathers of that AI algorithm that this platform has. Boy, when you get upset, I could upset any human being, right? But I didn't realize that I could upset computers too. Anyway, crazy world we live in. So I'm sure I could piss off a Terminator too, have him show some emotion. But anyway, everybody have a great night. This is Tom. I'm out of here.